what FNATIC were going to do. What do you make of Oxygen's comp so far?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Again, ooh, okay. Well, actually, yeah.
Now you're surprised?
Yeah, a little more surprised now, actually.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting to see how they synergize around Astra, whether or not it's literally just going to be kind of prioritized smokes, and whether or not we see any kind of, you know, really meticulous setups from this. Because obviously, I mean, you look towards kind of your raise, your killjoy and whatnot to kind of synergize its utility. They do have the Sova. This is just going to be really interesting.
Yeah, let's get on board players out of the free cam. Let's focus in on what we're seeing here. And already Toronto going to draw first blood, but a quick trade and a bit of a burst coming out from this as well. Sewer control going to be garnered. And it looks like a big response coming in from Oxygen. They're actually going to stack out on towards the site here. 3 players towards A, and they're still leaving Cypher to deal with the rest.
Let's see, I sent an extra man over here. FNATIC will reposition towards the sewers, and they're just trying to wait things out as well, seeing if Oxygen do decide to follow up on this. Magnum now going to send out some sound cues, but nobody actually close enough on C site to even hear that. Actually, this dude not even inside the cam, so the Oxygen do decide to creep through, and this could be bad actually, because both is more Mystic is holding this angle though.
Oh. Okay, yeah, they checked it, but it was not necessarily a lazy peek, but you could see FNATIC were very composed, expecting maybe that reaggress, and they've held well for this. This is a very composed side, but turco could be the absolute undoing of this, but timing's everything. He hears Magnum, he waits, he doesn't expect a second, and now Glove's found one, and Glove can now just sit towards long because he's got the support there from the Sage. He needs the shot, he doesn't get it. Boaster denies, and now the 2v2 begins. Spike should be planted, nothing to stop it, but look at these annoying positions coming back in for Oxygen. Great work from Boaster to find turco, makes this somewhat doable now. That was going to be so many problems in front of them, but Zister now, nah, can't get it out, but great work from FNATIC. Keep in mind, that little bit of a flank coming in was so good from turco. That timing on it, that could have been everything for them. So close.
I mean, you could even argue as well, the initial peak, right? It's like, whoa, why is turco not following up on that? But actually, I mean, it works out perfectly. It's unfortunate here that Glove, I guess, doesn't have an opportunity to back away and play his life there. If they can keep that man advantage, that's huge for them in that retake, because they have 3 separate angles of attack. And FNATIC don't have long to fall back to. They have turco and sewers, and one coming from obviously the spawn / heaven. So it's unfortunate, but a very, very slow and cautious pistol round.
Oh, but I like a stack. Oxygen already. I like how these guys are playing. I love a stack on a pistol. They're not going to go for a mad force. It's a sheriff, ghost or 2 bits and pieces. 4-play stack. It's not gone so well. Cleared out nicely by FNATIC. But hey, do you think they were going to win that normally? No. So why not try and get some guns away, do some damage? I like the concept.
Yeah. Really here. I mean, you can get anything else done. This dude just looking for consolation, but nobody really low enough FNATIC for him to even catch a headshot. I don't think it's gonna be hard work for him now as the spike will get planted. An extra ult orb go on the board for FNATIC, and good progress already. Got to get a little bit of momentum going because they'll carry 4 Spectres across to the next round. We'll catch a sound cue, but no damage going on to Boaster now. It really depends on how late he wants to leave it. We'll actually find Magnum, so consolation nonetheless, but really, really nice. Again, I like the opportunity kind of really to take a stack on sewers there, anticipating, you know, bring them into a choke point, try and make use of these lesser weapons, but again, FNATIC using the utility wisely, clear this out. Toronto, no chance versus that paint shell either. The follow-up from Dome is perfect. Nice round from FNATIC. Gives them a good opportunity here to try and convert this bonus.
Up I go.
Got to say, so far for FNATIC, very clean. This is great. This is a really good beginning for them. As much as I've liked what Oxygen have been doing, I've liked some of the positioning. FNATIC have controlled every element of this, and this was something that definitely made me a little nervous at the start, was can they actually keep control of this? We know that they've struggled before against, you know, Polish teams, but here we go. Toronto gonna get checked on. Great work from Mystic. Very methodical work from FNATIC. And they need to approach it like this, right? They have to approach the game in a very methodical way, because we know how the Turkish teams like to play in this. They look for opportunities. They will thread that needle. They will find that one pressure point and really push down. So you can't go light on this. You got to check every corner. Mitez. Oof, I thought he was going to double down on it, but no, dealt with well. And again, great trades for FNATIC. No threats truly found yet.
But again, just another single peek here and potentially giving away a weapon you'd want to play distance in a round like this. The Cosmic Divide going to get invested by both, so that's going to isolate Turco. Fantastic swing.
Gorgeous.
Look at that, Magnum and Doma. And both kills zcstani once again. The last man standing for Oxygen.
Lovely. Lovely, lovely stuff. I'd be interested by Oxygen's composition, at least on the attacking side. See how that works out. See if they feel like they're lacking a little bit of those flashes or any bit of kind of, I guess, engage towards sights. zcstani. However, to try and play this back in as best he can. 2 on site, 1 towards hell. Nah, not gonna happen. FNATIC, very, very clean. This is... How do we kind of categorize this? This is very methodical, clean play. They've done great side takes. They've been great on clearing corners. This looks like business for FNATIC. I think this is the first time I've seen them playing this very crisp style.
Well, this is, again, the other thing. I want to see something in the early round for Oxygen to really shut this down, because, I mean, that's, again, 3 rounds in a row, pretty much cut and dry, run the same thing. And once again, like I said, it's just a single peak. There's no real contingency there for the swing onto sewers. No trade possible, no utility invested. The early round Astra utility is not really exciting me too much, I'll be honest, Lauren, because there's no follow-up on it.
Nope. All chill so far. Clean work. Double stack towards Garage might find something, but FNATIC so far working in well. You see position is now held. Doma, a little brave and does get punished for it. And here we go. The shot's going astray. The spike plant is denied for a second, but Dirk is feeling a little pressured here. It's reasonable, but good work between Mystic, Boaster, lovely utility usage, and now Turco, Glove, trying to find an opportunity. None really found. Glove gets 1, making it a little bit costly, but let's see if he can maybe get a gun away. See what he can do with this. As the round, very unlikely. Oh gosh, the utility.
Nano Swarms, they run the clock down for FNATIC here, and what? Glove lands a fantastic wallbang onto Boaster. That was disgusting, Lauren. I mean, it doesn't amount to anything.
You good? Just caught you for a second there.
That was filthy.
Scanning ahead.
Come on.
Someone check him, PC. Nah, it's solid. I mean, it was pretty dirty. At this point, 4-0 though, FNATIC will say, yeah, no worries. Hit those, we'll take the rounds. That's easy. That's an easy choice. We don't have to worry about that. Now, coming into this, we do see Toronto on the op, so let's pay attention to that. That's a big switch up. It looks like a C-long peak as well. Flash comes in from Mystic. Swing on it, not gonna get it. Nice work from Toronto. This could be the big game changer here, right? We were talking about his capability on the op, and he is a very capable opper, and a lot of teams suddenly swing up on those rounds. That is a bold peek, Boaster. I know you're kind of double peeking on this, but what are you guys doing right now? How is he getting away? What? How did none of those land? They looked so spot on, but zcstani's still gonna find at least 2, but by now we're down to a 2v2, and I do not understand what just happened.
Yeah, I mean, even getting away with a bold res at the bottom of C-long, that was kind of weird, to be honest. FNATIC have to reset, get the spike. Now they're going to slowly creep back over towards A. No sound cues. You can see already Glove and Turco positioned, anticipating they're going to follow up on this trade of kills back and forth. FNATIC still very cautious on their approach here. 30 seconds left, plenty of time to set up. Doma actually going to invest the showstopper here.
30 seconds left.
I think actually that, after they don't hear any follow-up, is going to be... okay, yeah, lockdown invested as well. Hunter's Fury going to try and counter this out. Doma, got to be careful not to catch attack here, and he actually does. Will fall. Turco finish that off, and the lockdown gets removed. Magnum now to 1v2.
Aggressive. Oh, the pre-fire. Oh, that got a little sketchy now, and he gets outdone. FNATIC trying to posture up aggressively in the post plant, and you can see the double down on the aggression, just kind of going, well, I've got to kind of run with it here. And it doesn't work out so well. Gonna go get the op. Don't worry. They're not crazy. Just getting the op back. Let's talk about kind of committing to aggression, right? Because this round, I think, highlights a lot of it. One, the kind of triple No, it's not like a peek. They weren't even peeking. It was for the res, which is fine. But, like, look at this.
This is just...
This was after another cross as well. Like, they have players there for it, but it's so risky to do. Like, how many times have you seen a Wardell just demolish people down there? A Mixwell, you know.
I mean, let's put it this way: you only get away with that once. A player like Toronto doesn't miss those shots given the opportunity once again.
Yeah. I'm a little taken aback, but at 4-1. Oxygen do get themselves on board here, but the op is back in the hands of Toronto. And here's that aggression I was looking for, but it seems well considered, but not well enough. Mitch outdoes Boaster this time. Nice work with that utility to try and combine to give favor on the fight. And now FNATIC in response going to take over Garage.
Calling my bot. Here.
Back up behind this trap wire and... expecting to pop here. Whether or not actually be able to get any utility to slow this down, because as soon as this trap wire falls, you know they're going to... Okay, actually, not opting to explode on the back of that, and a little bit of a trade of damage back and forth now. Magnum... Little birdie got stuck. Able to flash him through actually into a link here. Now with Magnum tucked in, I guess actually anticipating this B hit from FNATIC. Try and follow up on this once again with the wall.
Oh, I love Magnum's positioning here, though. Oh, he gets caught up by Zisto. I love the idea, trying to be such a nuisance to the two players in Connector. But now with him gone, it allows mitch some freedom to play towards B. And look what that's done. It opens up so many chances. Shut down Oxygen. Finally getting to breathe some fresh air here. 2 rounds now on the board back-to-back here, pretty much looking much more comfortable. Starting to maybe get a little bit of that solidarity, get a little bit of that kind of stability going for themselves. And they also keep that up in play.
You do, dude. And I think you're right as well to say earlier on, which is that expect that round as soon as Toronto gets the operator on board. I mean, Oxygen can lean a little heavier on one side of the map, but, you know, Toronto now can just play rotate. Oxygen can keep in formation and basically just send him to a different site, different position every round now. The FNATIC have got to keep that at the back of their minds when they consider some of these executions.
Oh, no. No way.
Durka.
That is the value Dirk is bringing. Huge frag for him there, shutting down the aggression from Toronto earlier on. We're seeing that kind of combination already starting to begin between the two. A little bit of a competition. Mystic, though, going to split one out towards the site. This should encourage a hit, if anything. He'll try and speed up on this Turco. Going to keep his head down as best he can. Glove is the sacrificial lamb. Turco has to bounce out. The site take is perfect.
Yeah, and actually, Oxygen's Cosmic Divide pretty much going to be completely negated. They're not going to have an opportunity to get in here. I mean, this dude should be able to move up and get a position whilst it's still running. But with that Sage Wall and things being slowed down so much, it, like I said, it pretty much gets cancelled out.
Now, one thing I will say, FNATIC's site take so far, this A piece, has been hard to answer. Now, it looked like they were trying to kind of post up Jet. Maybe a pretty correct read, considering they know this is not necessarily a fallback plan for FNATIC, but it's a strong site take, so why wouldn't you lean into it after losing 2 rounds, right? So, makes sense. Now, I don't mind that play towards short, but, you know, if Durka's going to be on one, just check in on that. You know, because he's going to be in the mind of other oppers, right? He knows what they're going to try and do, and if that op's still in play, great work from him just to keep check of it, but I do wonder if we see it 6.9 on Toronto, so I have to see what he does going forward. They've got money in the bank as well. Glove and Mitch perfectly fine. 6.6, 4.3. Op is back out, so reinvesting. As said, we highlighted this earlier, right? That he's more of that purist. He will lean towards it whenever available. It's definitely his go-to.
Let's see now.
And now let's see what the answer is again, because it looks like FNATIC, they found something that works. They ain't going to change it.
Look how heavily FNATIC are leaning in the early round as well. Not even considering kind of this default setup and map control elsewhere, and this is the first time actually eyes on the minimap. You can see Oxygen exploring. Pushed all the way down C long now, and that's going to give a lot of information, allow Toronto to make this rotation nice and early.
They're still paranoid because there were lurks before, right? Keep that in mind. This hasn't been completely free, but now these 2 players pushed up towards A. If they get information, if they hear the steps, if they see a bit more utility coming down, There we go. That's a little bit of info still being relayed, but how much do you want to work on that? Cypher flank right now that's coming in. You're seeing going down is everything. Deep clear towards, spawn as well. They want to be 100% sure before they fully commit towards this. You're going to see the likes of Toronto kind of lingering in the connector in case there's a lurk towards middle. And now the side take comes in. Now, the question is, do they stick and fight or do they back away? Well, it looks like they're sticking and fighting. It's a 1-for-1 trade out, 2-for-2, but now we're down to the 3v2. Make it just one. Incredible work from FNATIC again on the site take. This down now, going to try and work way through this. Boaster did take a bit of damage early. That's a big fight. Not clean though, 6 HP. And Boaster tries to tuck away. Oh, that is so well done. Boaster just has to keep his cool. And he does more than that. Brilliant work from Boaster again. This is a game he should be very, very proud of the way he's approaching this, and a good scoreline as well. Oxygen read that due to the flank, but I mean, you're stuck in that 50-50, right? Do we commit? Do we take the fight here? Do we fall away? Play a retake? Super hard to play retake on this site, especially when we have maybe just one flank coming in, but Killjoy's utility is already there. There's no easy way to do this.
This is great. To be honest, more so from FNATIC, right? And then the emphasis here, well, that comes down to a 4-for-3 trade on the site. That you don't see that very often between like European versus European teams. It's usually a 1-for-1. They get site access. It comes through to a 4v4 in the post plant, right? This here is like whichever site the hit comes on, it's a deathmatch, and it is literally back and forth on the site. There's pretty much no other action elsewhere. This is really interesting, and actually a big adjustment from FNATIC. It's not often you see them lean this heavily.
No, I do say though, if you find something and they don't have an answer for it, now their money's gonna be in the bin, so they can't still find an answer for it. You can make minor adjustments, right? In my mind, it's like, okay, we keep leaning this way, we keep doing the kind of, the idea, right? You show off the idea of this, but then, okay, well, this time we'll leave Killjoy to low mid. Okay, well, this time we're gonna leave, X and Y. We're gonna change up a little bit here. These small changes catch those kind of like wanting flanks now. You're gonna see that in middle right here. Killjoy should get some good work done. That's a gun barrel spotted, and obviously the turret's there. This should be free farm, but Magnum might actually get overwhelmed considering that play down middle's come in. That's an offer up there from Toronto saying, look, just trade me, I'll go for the dash. But there's the win on the site regardless. So they've got the information, they can have the side take. So FNATIC are playing a very good game. Now, I don't discredit Oxygen either. They're doing what they can, but what are you meant to do in this? They've got a gun back, right? So now they've got 3 rifles. That's big. That now makes this a little bit more of a sketchy round. It's calls upon Boaster to do well again. And he doesn't do it this time.
Mystic actually going to reposition off that as 3 members of Oxygen will go through. Toronto still actually as well. Mystic will find value on this flank. Durku will shut down meters as well. Actually, Turco,
that aim,
fantastic shots.
Turco is so sick, like individually. Durka outdoes him though, and secured. Now that was kind of like a half buy with a couple of rifles in there. I like the aggression towards mid to try and pinch. Obviously, if you're Magnum, you almost don't mind dying for that. You get the information, you get to kind of know what's coming their way. You can kind of relay it regardless. Obviously, you'd rather win, but you take that. At this point, again though, why would FNATIC change? Now the thing is, this is the round where FNATIC could go, screw it, let's do something weird, right? Because they're gonna Oxygen have to respond to this. They have to put players towards A or make a switch up, right? So FNATIC, it looks like, go, right, well, let's go for a little bit of switcheroo. But it does mean Toronto gets a shot again, but he has to do well here. Toronto, this is on you.
They do try and wall up in the early round. Seeker's going to get invested here, and already valuable information. Look how quick this utility's coming through from FNATIC here. Turco's still in the deadly spot, but the Seeker will reveal his position. Toronto has had to respect.
Look at this rotation. All 5 players from Oxygen are here because FNATIC have conditioned them constantly that these are all inside hits.
Yeah.
FNATIC are 100% in charge. Now, FNATIC can clear methodically and well, which they're doing. Look at Magnum again. This is great work from him. Deep clear through that kind of, attacking side spawn, make sure that's fine. They can now kind of reaggress. They've made, again, Oxygen use a little bit of that utility. They've, walls gone, little bits and pieces have been used. Now they can maybe reassert themselves here and try and catch someone on a rotation back towards the site potentially. Now, let's see if they get the good check on Turco. We already saw that aim coming online, Hypoc.
Actually, I mean, utility-wise, I've got to say that was more invested on the side of FNATIC. Durka still has the wall, 1 slow orb, but I want to say, really, with that hit not being followed up on, it kind of plays into Oxygen's advantage. They are going to get information off of that flash through B. Actually, Glove now going to invest a little bit. Toronto will find a kill elsewhere. Glove now got it all to do with Mitch, and the counter peek is perfect. Look at this, it's beautiful from Oxygen. Shutting down the B push. Brilliant stuff from Glove and Mitez.
Beautiful late round work between them. You're spot on with that. 7-3, it's given them a little bit of breathing room. I want to see them get the last rounds, though. Otherwise, I'd still say FNATIC have enough in the tank to be able to convert enough on the second half, right? I need them. If you want to see Oxygen do well here, next couple of rounds, and we need Toronto to come online. He's having a quiet game. 4-8. I want to see a bit more. The guy is a headliner.
I mean, I always come back and I say to FNATIC on Haven, their big win condition is having a strong attack in half. So far, so good. The round score playing pretty much perfectly into that. But again, just in the early round here, once again, the Astra utility, there's just no follow-up on it. And yes, you can say that it's invested well because they're finding a little bit of information off it at least, but they're backing away onto site. There's no kind of crunch onto that. And yes, we talked about the conditioning from FNATIC. They know everyone's there. Oxygen know all of FNATIC are there.
It's intention behind utility, right? It's you got to kind of do something with it at this point. Now I want to see what happens here. Once again, we do see the switch up of Boaster this time trying to catch that flank. They've taken short control, shown a lot of presence. They're not being subtle, right? There's no subtlety to this. A lot of spam, a lot of steps, a lot of everything. They're trying to draw players over and see if maybe Boaster can catch one. No one's going for it yet. Magnum actually investing the ult on this too. That's interesting. Now look at the response.
They're going to challenge it.
Wait, they're pushing this. Yeah, not a bad shout either. That's gone.
This is beautiful work from Oxygen, actually. Completely shuts down this push, but Boaster has actually been able to lurk his way all in. The spy cam's going to give away the information, though, and now he's stuck on an island. He needs his teammates there. He's going to try and run down the clock a little bit. But that utility, the rotation is coming through now. It's all on Toronto and Zisto.
Boaster, 2 out of nowhere, finds the main crunch of this. This should be safe. Glove, you're going to need something big off this one. Denying the plant is important. Res comes in. Boaster's back. That's a 4v3 now. Favorable to FNATIC, but Oxygen do still have players up and a res available themselves. Don't forget it. Now, double stack towards backside. Well divided comes in. Maybe a worthwhile time, obviously, of course, then to bring up Boaster for that similar move. Now, Mitez needs to go through. They did invite. Look at this crossfire. Oh, wait, Mitez! He still gets one. He peeks with full intention. But the shutdown did come through, and Mitez left on just a slither of HP, and Dome is still alive. This is so tricky for Mitez. He's playing Ring of Ring Rosie's the gun barrel. He's going to see it. That's going to be one. He needs the other, and he needs it fast. Doma's going to back away. He knows that time is on his side. He is the additional man, and Mitez, beautiful shot. Did Doma just throw that?
My word. 22 HP, finds the remaining 2 kills. What a fantastic turnaround. Utility, the Cosmic Divide there to allow the res to come through, and they let the clock run down. That crossfire from FNATIC was brutal, and they still break through and find a 1-for-1 trade in that scenario, Laura. What a fantastic round from Oxygen.
And Mitez, that first peek he comes in with, unreal. He peeked with full idea, full intention that player was going to be there. And I'm so baffled that Doma was just kind of caught in no man's land. I thought he was going to play the time a little, do the dance, like try and, draw the time away, but no. Mitez doesn't allow it. So 7-4, we said they needed the buffer and they're doing just that. Oxygen starting to build up here. One more and we've got a game on our hands, folks. Like, this could be a Toronto on the switch up as well. Straight towards middle might be a good shout. This is like a garage burst or a mid burst coming out here. The timing's going to be everything.
Toronto's in the right spot for it. Decide to walk mid, but again, going to see a double stack from Oxygen at the top of C long. I think that wall's already been invested. I can't actually see it beyond the player. Yes, it has. Going to be able to buy a lot of space in the early round, which I'll be honest has been their biggest problem, as FNATIC stacking up and finding so much control on one side of the map early on, drawing out this rotation, drawing out the utility. Actually, they're doing that once again here. Trying to send out a couple of feelers, but with Zistu fully investing his setup onto a site, FNATIC once again creep towards A.
Very different hold, though, from Oxygen here. And I quite like that. I'd rather them, sometimes you got to say, well, we're losing the site fight. We're going to have to lean on the retakes that aren't pretty. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing easy about it, but it might be the better option. So Zistow's going to have to accept the fact that he's going to be on a bit of an island, do the best he can. Nice, great attempt. Keeps his life as well. Toronto.
What?
Unreal. What the hell is this? Zistow's found Durka. That's actually pretty big. Retaken with a 5v4, that ain't bad. Now, they only have the 2 avenues of approach, and Heaven is hard to play from, right? Jump out there. You're offering up maybe a trade. But again, it's going to be just that CT retake. God's going to find Mystic. There's that heaven drop. It never works out quite so well. Boaster does find him, finds another. Boaster, great work on the site. He's going back in for more. Magnum is not alone, but he's still doing enough work to make up the difference down the 1v1. Great work when it just came down to Magnum at the very end. 3 kills. But between him and Boaster, pulling that attention. Just a little towards the site. No, back towards sewers. Beautiful post plant again. 8-4.
Really, really well controlled. And actually, you can see Oxygen stacking up. They have the man advantage, and they're trying to set up the utility. This is the first time, really, we've seen kind of Vitez make a, I guess, structured approach to this utility in the retake. FNATIC hold the line. It comes down to 30 HP on Magnum, but the trades played so well by FNATIC there. And 8-4.5, I got to say, that's a big win for FNATIC.
Yes, it's huge. They are definitely with the upper hand. And a bit of an upswing in performance for Boaster. Now, when I look at Boaster, I don't look at him to be the fragger. He's an adequate player. He's an IGL in my mind. He's, you know, very much the leader in that regard. Utility expert. I give him that. But he's been putting up some numbers. Very, very important. Now, it looks like Mitta's just going to go for a straight contact up middle here. No utility yet. Spots out a shoulder on Doma. Now they're going to have to commit a little bit here. Just right towards the connectors. And away we go. Nothing too complicated about this. No crazy plays. A little bit of a late lurk through A.
Gonna plant this for A-Link. They're gonna try and hold on to this choke point here. You can see Mystic's gotta respect the presence here. Both are gonna stack up with him. Toronto just misses that glance. Look at this though, the lurk coming through. Ziztou, once he gets through
Look
to
at the
A
way
here.
they've stacked this. They've got all the players on the connector side. Yeah, hold up. This is still pretty sketchy. Oxygen, though, this is such a weird post plant. They're all on this side.
What?
Doma's found 3 of them, and now the wall goes up. Ziztou is just locked off from this. Nade to ward him away. You can't escape it.
Beautiful.
If this is something that Oxygen do in a similar occasion, like the wall to where they were kind of sitting toward that A connector side, and FNATIC are just aware of it, that was read like a book. I mean, they were so prepared for that.
They were, and again, we're talking about Durka and on this Sage. Again, just perfect usage of the wall. We saw this a couple of times. Again, I think back to the Haven play with the Cosmic Divide and the Sage wall here, but another perfect example. Ziztou has absolutely nothing to do there. I mean, he has to still commit to breaking it before it reinforces, and unfortunately can't get that done with the Ghost, and the nade will finish him off, but it's a big round here. It looks like Oxygen actually going to throw a couple of sheriffs into this, but not purchasing armor. And really, this is FNATIC on the brink of double digits already with that pistol round win.
Straight walk mid. Doma does get traded on. Good work there from Turco, but back up, always in the right place. Boaster being a nuisance today. He's playing a good game. And again, we look to see what the victory would be. A nice spike plant would be great for them. A couple of kills cost them some weaponry, but Mystic's not allowing that. Just kind of playing a little solo towards A, but he can call for some support now. 2 remain. Beautiful work. And predicting the final, and now hearing, of course, that Sheriff going off. Very well played by FNATIC. No threats found. The trade on Doma, sure, but Boaster was still there as the safety net. This is clean work from the boys.
Indeed is. Oxygen buying back this one. Is Doma finding this value, even getting traded out here. Look at it, Boaster's there, ready with the gravity well to find a second. And at this point here, you don't get the weapon upgrade. It makes it so difficult to recover this round, especially losing 2 like that on the attack. Allows FNATIC to just drift back and forth as soon as they find some information. Able to close that one out relative ease. As FNATIC going to carry 3 Spectres across. Doma already on the showstopper now. That's a big thing here for the bonus round. Those Playmaker ultimates can quickly turn the tide. Urka getting a little bit frisky down on A long there, but Magnum and Doma. And actually, Doma's the first to fall. That's the showstopper off the table.
Bit of a loss to start with. Let's see how they respond with this now. They've got the player advantage to work with. They've got the first pick. Going to cause a couple of rotations to come out from FNATIC, make them kind of have to adjust accordingly. But look at the re-aggress towards middle. Oh, that's so nice. So all that sort of threat that could have been building towards B, wiped away. They now know exactly that that's not the case. Right, so where are they? Did they hear a step? Have they got any idea? Now, Looks like they're gonna at least check this way. And if you're Oxygen, there is no way in hell you are considering this yet. Now that's two players. That's worth the take here, but do they wait for not more? Oh, Magnum! He's made a meal of it, but Dirk is there to pick up the pieces. And now there's problems for Oxygen. There are players on the flank, and now they've got to know what's going on. The rest of FNATIC, though, gonna go through CT, wait behind those smokes, and now with the 3 remaining from Oxygen, they've got to find this plant. They need that little bit of safety. Flash through the smoke. Oh, it's so blind. It's so good.
So
Hypo,
blind.
the flash through the smoke. I love it. I love it so much.
I mean, at that point, that literally looked like a hand-off keyboard and mouse moment. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm dead. Like, there's nothing I can do there. That's so well timed. And Mystic actually, all the way from the point at which FNATIC reaggress mid, he's playing A-Link. Literally, that's been the plan the entire time. He sits back, he doesn't even challenge sewers or long. He sat all the way in A-Link waiting for this to happen. Yes, a little bit of a whiff, but it's a Spectre at range. I'll let Magnum off with the way he's been playing recently, but what a fantastic recovery from FNATIC.
Well, this is the thing. We were also asking the question here earlier in the first half. I said it. I was a little worried about this composition from Oxygen without any traditional flashes, or really any flashes. I mean,
or follow-up on the Astra.
Exactly, like their engage is lacking. It's very tricky to make this work. If Toronto's not having like a mad game on Jet, kind of being that, well, I'll offer up the trade, right? Be a Yampy, be just straight in there for it. Even then, it's like, beyond that, how do you play this? This is a very weird composition change, so this could be, this has been something we were talking about being a problem, and I mean, that pop flash through smoke just made me super happy anyway, but, at this point, at 11-4, this isn't looking so hot, I've got to say. And again, this is probably the harder side for this composition, at least. And yeah, that start for Durka, just padding out the stats now.
Yep. Playing distance perfectly on this one. We'll find the second. Doma counter peaks will find Glove. Oxygen down to 2 now, but find a constellation nonetheless. And Durka quickly closes this one out with his third. FNATIC on map point now. Oxygen will be able to buy back into this, but I mean, really, it's the Blade Storm. Not even had an opportunity to get the operator rolling, which, again, another talking point is players like Toronto always leaning heavily on that operator on attack.
Yep.
And being able to find value with it to open up a site. It just hasn't been possible for them here. They're going to have a Vandal coming into the last one.
And I mean, FNATIC can get super fruity. I mean, I don't know if they want to, but they could take so many peeks because there's no flashing off angles, right? So let's say this long fight. What's going to take them off this angle? Nothing. So for now, they can just sit there, hold so many more postured up aggressive angles. We're looking at Garage here as well because there's 2 players. I think Jet and Sova are going to start maybe clearing through. I guess maybe a little bit of the Sova could clear. You can see the use there of... I don't know, even Glove now, it's all been negated. That little bit of a slowdown, that little bit of counter utility instantly hinders any sort of springboard. And look at FNATIC, they are getting fruity with it, and why not? Get a little aggressive, but ring of roses.
Actually wrapped each other.
Oxygen, yeah, they're on the site. So look where the spike is, Hypoc. That's not good. Suddenly, there's problems now. Durka has seen everything, and now what does he want to do with this? Take your time. Mystic gets a little bit of baited in on there. Doesn't quite find the shot. Turco punishes, but Durka ready to pick up the pieces. Can't quite find Toronto and his game back on. They've maintained site positioning, and that's going to catch up Doma. Good work from Oxygen, but by now it's still a 3v2.
There's both Boaster and Magnum come round through a lobby. The plant isn't for long, so expect Oxygen to play on site, maybe even a little aggressive forward towards spawn. Actually, no, going to drift back towards sewers. Mitch is going to find the first nice headshot onto Magnum. Boaster, last man standing here for FNATIC in a 1v3, and just at the wrong moment, tries to throw down a star into hell. Maybe going to try and use of a gravity well there.
Okay, got to 5. And again, finding the spike here was brutal. I mean, you don't often bank on the fact you can just simply walk A. So, you know, I don't blame them for it. I'm glad that they were trying things out, but at 12-5 now, it's just, you're gonna need some mad performance upswing. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Toronto having a bigger performance. This has definitely been a struggle of a game for him. Pretty tough, I'd say. But you've had a couple of others pick up a little bit of the pace. And again, look at this aggression. Straight down long. 3 players. They're crunching towards A. They're getting all that information, all that depth, working off the back of the flashes. Magnum's feeling a little frisky with it, and he's got Durka by his side, so why not? Toronto's gone. Like, how are you meant to deal with this aggression? They're playing default, sure, but they're still being overwhelmed. They're simply being pushed even further back. This is FNATIC striding through this game. This is a very dominant performance.
Well, this is the exact concern I had, right? Which is why I want FNATIC to have such a strong attacking half, was because they can be this proactive. This dude will find Dirk, and that will leave Magnum as the last man to defend C site. We'll go 1 for 1. Dirk will shut that out, but maintain a man advantage at least. FNATIC have to see what they're considering here. I mean, they have the Showstopper and the Seekers here. This is still doable, even in a 3v4.
Gotta go for it. Gotta be feeling like you want to, but FNATIC opting to be a little more reserved, saying, you know what, we'll keep the money, we'll keep
sensible and boring.
I know, just get in there, go on, have a crack. But I mean, it makes sense. But still, 12 to 5, soon to be 12 to 6.
Well, I mean, there's a point that we're going to reach. FNATIC have played so well throughout this.
Yep.
Now we're on the brink of Magnum 1 away from the lockdown. Boast is now 2 away from the Cosmic Divide. It's that kind of snowball effect, right? Previous round, Turco has to invest his res. Toronto still sitting on that Blade Storm, but Gloves 1 away from his Hunter's Fury, so some ultimates coming online, but really, like I said, in terms of snowballing, FNATIC can ride this out now. They just need 1 more round. So, you know, whether it be financially or, well, speaking of finances, Dome, we're actually going to throw the Operator into this one. So expect him to maybe play a little funky in the early round here, whereas he's over on C default right now.
Scanning ahead.
Ooh. Toronto actually pre-aimed that angle as well.
Okay. And now the pace change coming in a little here from FNATIC, a little less aggressive still with the lean though. I mean, you still got Sage kind of posted up towards sewer, you got that flash towards long, allowing a little bit more freedom on that up to try and, you know, be a little riskier. Boaster, I mean, you don't often say, yes, Boaster, the infamous UK opper. You know, quite the up-and-coming rattlesnake, what can you say?
Not even
but
once.
We'll see how it looks. Not even once. But look, maybe it's time. Maybe it's finally time to see.
I think you used the word fruity earlier on, which
it's a fruity choice.
It, yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of an interesting read. They've gone for the stack towards A, but it is going to be an explosion towards Garage. So Magnum now gone. Oxygen. Take side control. Exactly and once again, will you risk going for it now you've got an op? I don't think so.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, really expect them to try and swap out to the Vandal in this retake, if anything. They can retake Garage control here. Tiger's invested. Makes me feel as if they are going to fully commit to this. Now going to come through. They're going to put the res on as well. Magnum has the lockdown.
Here we go. 10 seconds. They better get the hell out of Dodge now.
They got the showstopper for backside.
Look at what they've got exactly. This could be huge. Here it comes. There it goes.
He missed
Nowhere. He absolutely missed it. We didn't see much of it, but now it's down to Toronto in a 1v2, and he's detained.
No
he's just going to have to sit back and watch as this all comes down in front of him. Absolute heartbreak for Toronto. All comes out. Up and over, but... Oh, my God.
No way! Toronto pops the Blade Storm. Hops up, denies the defuse. Oh my word. The timing on him being detained there. FNATIC stick it just half a second earlier. He can't do this. Look at how close it was.
Oh.
Imagine calling GG. Imagine.
Imagine.
Couldn't be me.
Need that back.
Okay. 12 to 7, game back on here. FNATIC getting a little sketched out, I'm sure. Money in the, not necessarily the bin. They've got rounds to play with, but now aggression to make up for it. Mystic gonna keep pushing, pressuring the issue. Glove kind of back to the wall here. And you can see the aggression throughout this. He's gonna fall away as Mystic does the same. They've taken over B, but keep your eye on towards Boaster. See if he tries to make the play happen with the sound of these steps. You know he's walking that smoke. He is 100%. Having a little wander. Timing, though. It's got to be critical. Glove. Trying to take that side control. We know that they like to go for that connector lean towards the A site. We saw it in that early round. But now they wait. Boaster doesn't find it. Turco's patience pays dividends, and now the spike gets planted. Very similar plant as well. Seems to be something that they lean towards as Toronto. Safely waits. Durka outdoes him. 45 HP. 3v3. One rifle still on Mystic. Magnum on the SMG. And Durka, there it is, forcing out the race. But Magnum on the swing. Huge work. Now the gyro goes up, but that gives a chance. But Turco denies it, rips it away. And now Mystic in the 1v2. He's got to play it to the right. Turco to the left. Isolates one. Spins. Gets it done! Mystic out of nowhere. Does it on a dime, and FNATIC make it to 13.
Right back into it. After that round, they weren't willing to let any more slip, and Mystic with a fantastic clutch to close things out. I would have thought that...
3, so FNATIC, of course, in the lead here, but this is a map you want to keep your eyes on Toronto. He was a little quiet in map 1. Map 2, he's got to come alive, and it will be, of course, on the attack, FNATIC and Oxygen on the defensive side.
And once again, they're going to stack up for the pistol round. It looks like we might get a pretty quick hit here, but... Mitch, close enough to greet them, or at least catch all of this information off the audio. The drone going to follow through, and that's going to bring the rotation out from Oxygen. Does manage to escape, and keeping 5 alive in this scenario, very, very important. Now, already going to get set up. Magnum throws down the nano swarms, and we're going to plant right inside them.
Yeah, hold up. Gloves just found 2 out of nowhere. And look at Toronto, just happy to aggress even further. The man's confident. But now keep your eyes towards Magnum and Boaster. The last 2 alive, and they're in a deeper position. No kind of, cheeky flanks coming in. Both positions noted, and Toronto going to get off to a belting start. And there's the shutdown. Oxygen bounding right back in here.
Really nice. Like I said, just that 3-second adjustment where it's like, right, back up, give us time to come in, we get numbers and play the trades. And it looked really, really good there. Glove actually finding 2 kills before FNATIC have even got that plant in and been able to reset. And actually Doma, unfortunately, he gets caught out, right? He's got his wall down here, and I mean, you called it, Toronto are able to just hop up and find it before they can lean back, get into that kind of, that comfort zone all the way back under nest.
I mean, Doma was kind of the canary in the coal mine, right? It was like, just put him there and you know what, if he gets contact, but he just, again, with that many players kind of already being removed around him, just opening up that chance for the hop up over, it's tricky for him to stay alive, but round 2, looking at the buy coming in from FNATIC, it's not small, it's a fair investment. We have the SMGs coming out and about. Doma a little quieter, but utility is rife, so keep that in mind. Of course, yes, it's just a sheriff, but plenty more around that. Let's see what FNATIC do with this. A little bit more of a lean towards kind of taking the B control, long being worked on, but mid certainly not ignored, maybe keeping in mind that there could be a little bit of aggression coming out from Oxygen, or simply that maybe they want to find information through that avenue.
Glove actually gonna... Well, something out of mid. Now, actually, FNATIC gonna try and block off some of these sidelines. Glove might actually get caught out here. He actually double dips. He will find the kill onto Durka, and first blood in favor of Oxygen. I think now actually going to hit the brakes as I say that. Actually, Magnum will peek onto yellow. Another kill comes through for Zistu, holding down yellow. Actually, Mystic is vulnerable, but still comes out on top. Toronto should be able to clean that up. I think we'll escape with 57 HP. Boaster, meanwhile, has managed to lurk his way through kitchen. Might find a backstab here. Anticipated.
A valiant attempt. Yep, well considered by Oxygen. And good shutdown. Toronto there.
Whoa.
Happy to close out, and that's comfy. That was a bit of a buy-up from FNATIC too.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I'm okay with the buy-up. If you're going to lean heavily on this post plant, as long as you've got, Mystic with both snake bites, Magnum with both nano swarms, going towards B, you know that it's probably going to be one person holding onto that site. If you can get in, get a clean plant, reset, actually, the weapons don't become too much of an issue, right? You can run down the clock in that post-plant scenario, but again, trying to explore mid a little bit. I'm not sure if there was a bit of split focus there. If you're going to invest, I'd like to see them go all in on getting that plant.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, looking at this, FNATIC coming back in with sheriffs galore, and it is that A-lane. No real consideration or players left to watch too much of the flank. Killjoy's turret going to be put to that test. And for now, Toronto with the shoulder peek. Going to get all the info he needs. That's a good enough display, and Glove going to confirm that. All right, boys, here they come. Get ready. Plenty of sheriffs in our direction. Oof, bit of chunky damage coming out. Mitez gonna be not happy. Neither's Boaster, I'm sure, but Toronto gonna make it look so simple. Good work there. Let's see if any threats now begin. This is where it gets a bit dicey. Durka did find Toronto, but look at this damage coming in. This is why I love a bit of Reyna on this map. Those angles, it works so well. And they lose one, that's fine. And they stabilize. No plants coming in, nothing of the such. This is very good work from Oxygen, keeping FNATIC arm's length.
And that's it. So I kind of criticize them for it on Haven, but right here, I mean, with the Viper wall in particular, look towards Mitez and Toronto to kind of dip their toes in front of that wall, right? They have the ability to reposition. They can go in, even if it's information. In this scenario, they both find kills, but look for them to be the ones to be the aggressors. FNATIC creep up behind what they assume is that kind of blanket of safety, so to say, with the Viper wall.
Now, Op's already out for Toronto. This is quite the early Op to come down. And look how aggressively he's posted up here. A little further ahead, so he's going to be holding a deeper line of sight. Now, this is good information. That Reyna could definitely lean away. As soon as they get contact towards B, they could easily peel away from that. They've got a little bit of a, not really aggressive lean towards middle, but a very attentive hold towards middle. Now, at this point, FNATIC going for that straight-up burst towards B. Everyone's all in on this. A little bit of a dip through the wall. And that Viper's going to back away for now. Durka going to take some space.
Get the wall down. Actually, yeah. Going to block off the utility pretty well, actually. So not too much damage coming to Doma. Glove actually is a second shock dart there, but they will get a comfortable plant. Nano swarms. He popped down. Let's see how Oxygen approach this retake.
I mean, Killjoy, Viper. It's a dirty combination. And then throw in the fact you still got Durka. Toronto, though, with the first step in on the little bit of necessarily, not actually an over peak, but there you go. There's the answer right back in. Magnum Durka. Toronto, though, up on the top. Still trying to do the damage he can, but it's just Toronto now. And the slow flank coming in as well. He's got to check on Boaster. You surely don't expect it. Boaster is just nasty with it. He doesn't need to do anything as well. Mystic's utility does it all.
Really good stuff. And again, just as we're seeing it more and more often now where obviously the Sage wall goes behind the Viper wall, but even just a slight adjustment there, re-angling it, it kind of catches Oxygen off guard, right? All their utility is relying on it being a default plant spot and moving it by, what, 2 or 3 meters?
Yep, 3.
It kind of just, again, it's damage control, right? It negates as much as possible from Oxygen preventing that plant from going down, because you saw the snake bite and the shock darts both get caught out by that wall.
Durka. Ready to go. Only a sheriff, so trying to keep that economy building in the right way. Gonna lean on the ultimate to be the way forward. Not a bad choice. And FNATIC, look, we saw it in the previous map. They'll find a way that they want to approach it, that they want to operate, and they'll continue to pressure that issue. It looks like B is the center of their focus for now. But Mitez this time has found a bit of room to work with, actually pressuring a little deeper down towards middle.
Way more proactive on defense.
Yeah, I like this. I like the proactive play. Now, we do have Killjoy's ult invested towards this, so this could become a problem. Distav going to have to make the most of his life while he can. Can't do much with it. Durka's going to get... Ooh, not bad, Durka. That is not bad. We'll take that every day of the week. And now here comes the rest of the aggression. Turco's around on the flank, and FNATIC, with that slower creep towards the site, actually could now be in troubles, but they know what's coming their way. Mitez needs to use Reyna to her capabilities to try and find a way forward. Does so well, but the trade comes out for Doma. Turco's still there. Rez comes in, Mystic back up, but it's Doma to deny, and now Toronto has to do the magic here. This is a huge issue if you don't land the first, and now look at him being overwhelmed. They've closed the gap. It's not what you want with the okay, that's exactly what he wants with the op, apparently. But how do you get past this utility? Touches again. Hopes for the best. The shot goes astray.
He read it perfectly.
I can't fault him for how he played that. That was an incredible attempt.
But I mean, let's look at some other things from that round, Lauren. Straight away there, they with this information, they've acted upon it. They've been proactive. They send through, and again, we talked about it in the pre-show, regionally, right? Having a good understanding of this kind of post-plant emphasis. Look at this, the flank from Turco and sorry, Mitez, right? Both of them come through at a perfect time, right? They find a couple of kills. Unfortunately, actually, Doma comes out. He tries to bait the res and full swings on it. Right there, it puts the man advantage back in favor of FNATIC. So actually, just straight away, I'm seeing Oxygen kind of address the things that concern me the most on Haven.
Oh no. Oh, Magnum.
Brutal.
That's rough, isn't it? Toronto thought he had a freebie. Nothing free about it. Now the money's of course dwindled since then. Turco's still got himself a rifle, but beyond that, Sheriff's coming out to play. Now, keep in mind, if Turco's around, the potential danger's a little higher. The rest, it shouldn't be too much of a bother. Yes, they've got ultimates, but do you really want to use them here? Love nice connection towards Magnum, but again, trades effective for FNATIC, and Sight Control now fully garnered.
The glove has the Hunter's Fury here. If he... I'll make use of it. Actually going to send out a recon note.
Spike planted.
Try and creep through. We'll spot one player. Actually, he doesn't land anything. Durka at range, the Vandal. Put him down. Turco does have a Vandal. Expect him to maybe consider saving this one. So we're going to send some Sheriff shots into the Viper's pit. Damage done though, and now Turco on site. Durka will clean that up handily, and 3 survive from FNATIC. Damage done though. Again, look towards Oxygen to kind of stop some of the momentum in terms of the economy getting rolling for FNATIC here, but looking very comfortable. And on the side of Oxygen, much left in the kitty after Meters is going to buy up here. Toronto back onto the operator.
A bit of a late switch up here. Heading over towards B, maybe just saying, well look, this is their site hit, this is what we've been seeing consistently. Different look, a little bit more postured up here. Look at the rest of Oxygen. They're not backing away, having to be forced off the line a touch.
Just quickly as well, Durka faking that updraft in the early round. They're trying to figure out where Toronto's playing with the operator. They're literally trying to bait that shot in the first 5 seconds. Whether or not we'll see them adjust off the back of that, but that's a small thing. Just that one ability usage gives FNATIC the tools to say, actually, yeah, we're going to hit here. I mean, Toronto's still here. He hasn't shown his hand just yet, but it's small things like that. FNATIC just setting themselves up for success.
See what he can do, though. Now he's gone slightly unchecked on. Yeah, that's what he can do. That's scary. Okay, Toronto's a danger man. 30 HP, though. Going to be forced to... Oh, he's going to have to try and get away. Okay. Tried to bait them in, but they didn't really fall for it. Still using that utility to clear as best they can. Boaster going to peek out from the utility, and there's just a wall of rifles waiting for them. Yes, Dirk is there. That late lurk through middles looked good, but he's going to need to ace this one out. Not going to happen. And the op gets recovered, filtered back on through. 3 survive, and a great hold. I mean, this is where you're going to need to see that next level now coming in, potentially from FNATIC, if they want to keep continuing to run that side take.
In here, I mean, unless they're trying to catch Oxygen off guard, but not waiting out kind of the downtime in Viper's utility, it just goes to show there. I mean, they have to hop out and vision's obscured. They have to then react to it, but it's kind of discombobulated in terms of the timing of those peaks. It was all 3 separately. Again, yep, there you go. That's it. The updraft. Trying to find that shot from Toronto. Now they're going to react off that. Going to go drift away from B lane. I love that. Just that small ability usage there. FNATIC will drift off. And for good measure, he spotted with the drone.
Just making sure. Now, there's about 1:10 on the board here. Oh, yes, information's been garnered. Durka starts to show a little leg towards middle. Now, it's not without answer, though. A little touch of damage comes through. Actually catching 2 of them. Doma and Durka, the D&D combo. Gonna receive a little bit of flack, and he's not alone. Mitch's now catching Magnum's a problem. That's gonna at least isolate a little bit of this hit. Shows the intention now coming down. Now, yes, the spike's there. Viper's still coming over as well. So this is looking like that A piece, but now with the rotations, let's see if they're ready for it. Toronto's found Doma, but let's look towards Durka. Look at this guy's aim. It's insane. And now we're down to the final few. It's the 2v2. The spike is still on Viper. That's gonna be with Mystic here. And Oxygen aren't far away. 35 seconds to play with.
Just trying to hold tight for the time being. Turco actually going to get the res back in, so man advantage for Oxygen here. They have the Hunter's Fury and the Viper's Pit, but again, situationally not a great tool. FNATIC actually going to get spotted out. Were they both spotted with that?
Sure. I mean, got Mystic dead, and now Durka looks, yeah, red like a book. This is sketchy now. Durka's going to have to do some huge work. He doesn't get it. Beautiful retake. Oxygen. I'm liking this team on this map. This is looking much nicer.
Indeed. I mean, I got to say as well, Toronto having way more impact this time around. Not just numbers-wise. Yes, he's at 12 and 6, but it's this stopping FNATIC setting up so comfortably in the early round, which I talked about so many times on Haven. See, FNATIC have to address it, and they have to reconsider their approach. I mean, it just goes to show, it comes back to that discussion, right? Oh, jet bottom fragging. But actually, in terms of impact and how you're altering your opponent's way of thinking or what they're trying to set up, it's huge.
Okay. I mean, I just want to see how FNATIC get around this. They're losing bodies constantly. If it's put Durka on the ult and see if he can find that file on Toronto, because Toronto's getting picks. He is getting pick after pick now. This is going to be a big explosion towards A. This is an all-in sight piece, which, if the pressure's not going to be well constructed enough, will play very nicely for a Reyna and for an Oppa, right? So this is going to be the big test. Mitters now knows there are players coming in now. Actually, combine that with an ultimate from Glove as well. They're going to push this Mitters once in. Toronto's found one, but too many targets for Mitters to handle. But there's Durka. That's incredible work from Durka. He still wants more. He catches a leg shot. He has to fall away. But the deeper smokes come out. Toronto's vision gets neutered. He can't do the same as before. And this is great stuff from FNATIC. A perfect answer. But you can see he still wants in. Durka gets himself a little bit of a deeper angle. Zistar's trying to slip through the net here, but they're going to be aware of this spot real soon.
Oh, he caught the barrel. Stu will find one. Doma will fall now, but still 3 members to deal with.
No!
Actually, Toronto finally...
It's a 2v2. Look how many ults have been invested in towards this. This is a huge investment from FNATIC. Now Toronto can answer right on back in, but he can't find the shot. It goes astray. And Mystic does not miss. Brilliant work, but what a costly round for both sides. FNATIC had to use so much of what they had there. They've got themselves ready, but then on the other side, same can be said, Glove using their ult. Toronto coming in. This is a very, very expensive round for both sides.
A huge round from Durka. Like I said there, the fact that he's still happy to go forward and find more space, even after the first 2 kills, shows what this guy's capable of. And really, I mean, we're talking about Toronto coming online with the operator. It's huge for Oxygen, but FNATIC don't have an awful lot of tools to shut that down. They have Sova, but they're basically boasters to spot out where he is, and Durka to close that distance. They don't have any flashes to get him off these angles.
Mortez. Oh. 2, 3 players already tucked around that deeper angle.
Toronto.
Nothing to be done. Durka is doing whatever he can. It is literally mark your man right now. It's Toronto up against Durka, and they're both just dealing damage, man. Finally, Toronto's been put down, so it is a 3v2. Ultimate now popped. Coming on through. Should be a safe spike plant.
Who actually managed to get his way behind us here?
This ain't bad.
Give away a couple of sound cues here. Oh, nearly actually got it. No way!
What? No, Durka! Thought he could just tuck his head right back on down. No, you can't. Oh my god, that was a second away from just absolutely beheading him. And now Turco left in the 1v2. He knows where one is. He couldn't note the second. Boaster gets away with his life and the round. This is a brilliant game between these two. I am loving this battle going down. I mean, yeah, we can look at Durka and Toronto, but even beyond that.
Dude, I'm sorry. The balls for Toronto to sit there in front of the Aldo and still take that first blood. And then look at him. Smokes himself off. 40 HP. Comes through and finds another 2 kills to try and bail Glove out of that position.
Welcome to my
It's things like that. I talked about unorthodox. It's things like that you just cannot anticipate. And those are things that, you know, we don't have a lot of players in Europe that will do things like that.
Wait, this is all in pieces, man. Look at these leans from FNATIC. This is just... We saw it on the last map to an extent, but this is almost just bull-headed. And lucky to save life, you can see the pixel just fly across. He now knows the Dirk is here, and again, the battle continues between these two. Glove there, though. Playing ahead of this, man. These guys are having to elevate their play so high here.
But again, it's Oxygen's willingness to dip their toes before FNATIC even get to the site. And time again, they're finding a kill or a trade, and that's huge for the defending team.
Super disruptive. Yeah, it's super disruptive to what FNATIC wants to do. I mean, in other look, and here's that flank. We hadn't seen this too much, but now it will be Mystic on the case. Good control from Mystic to keep that in mind.
He's chilling for the snake bites, man. He's chilling.
He's fine. He can do his job from a couple of spots, so he's aight. But Turco's still here. Now, so close. That's ridiculous. Okay, spike plant comes in. Can't actually reveal Boaster in time, so he gets away scot-free and even finds one as well. Turco's going to lose his life for this. Now, Toronto, big question in front of you. Do you risk it for the biscuit? You got the op. Do you really want to go for this? Looking if there is that gateway, if anyone overextends, but FNATIC still have such good composure. Glove. Oh, he has no idea. The beheading. Dome is going to find Glove. And Toronto now can't get away. Too committed. And a very costly round for Oxygen and a good one on the board for FNATIC.
Yeah, good play from Boaster there. Again, he's the one planting and two players actually, the two players with rifles actually for Oxygen, the ones spamming away the wall. Boaster knows that he's got a good peek onto Heaven there on the reload. The timing of the walls kind of actually played against Oxygen. The fact that they tried to break it gives Boaster that opening. And obviously with Toronto on the operator, he's not holding that angle, so no chance of that being traded.
And the money now. Swing a roundabout. It's going to be a little weaker for Oxygen. They can fashion a buy, but it's Bulldogs. It's not pretty. Durka's in trouble, but does he get out of it? Of course he does. It's Durka. How can you... How does he get away with that? You tell me. Analyst.
Durka's like the perfect counter to Oxygen.
Yeah, he really is. It's actually mad to see it. Now, Boaster's done well to find Gloves, so just going to chip away at them here. There's Toronto gone. This is good work from Boaster. Even finding that kill there kind of eliminates the big threat that could have happened. And now Mitez, it's gone. It's donezo. Put a fork in it. This one's done. See what you got. Anything left in the tank.
You know, two members really tagged up on the side of FNATIC, so very difficult with the Bulldog. We'll find the headshot, but... Doma in place to make the trade, and a very good half from FNATIC. Obviously, but actually, Oxygen really impressed me here. Again, just this pace change for them has looked much better, and the things that were massively concerned, Durka landing that, I just actually noticed the first tag was a headshot there. So the top of the box, that's heartbreaking for this because he sets off with a snake bite onto the top of the crate there. He's anticipating Durka playing that spot. And even with the vulnerability, Durka's just like, yeah, I'm still going to challenge. I'm still going to ego chow you on the top of the box.
I mean, it's bold, right? Like, if you're feeling yourself, I guess you got to go with it, but it scares the life out of me. I mean, looking at this, I'm checking to see if we have any raid bosses made. Doma. Ghost and light armor, but no armor on Durka, so it's not going to be the, you know, Yampy style frenzy with the armor. And a sheriff come out for Toronto. That's interesting as a choice. And Oxygen actually kind of playing a little bit more standard. You got a 3-play lean towards A, 2 slow working towards B long. Okay. And Durka waiting on aggression. Oh my word, he's so snappy today.
I was going to say, if he gets that second one, it just... Toronto, luckily, lands the headshot with the sheriff there. This dude now, all this information on B, and looks as if Doma's got some sort of idea, or at least playing passively enough here to catch this information. As soon as the wall goes up, both are going to hit that rotation now. Got to consider the possibility, and actually a little gap in the wall there. Doma will take one tag, and as soon as they show their face, that's it. FNATIC now on the rotate.
Not completely. They're hesitant to leave. You can see Mystic still hovering around towards A. Because all they've seen so far is this Viper, really, I guess. That's it. 30 seconds, though. Oxygen are going to need to commit to this now. Here's that next wave of utility, though, that makes it a bit trickier. Deeper wall now responded with. Gonna have to look for a slightly unorthodox plant on this one. And Doma can't quite find the shot. How's that happened? It looks so spot on. Mazisto's found Boaster, and now we're down to 3. Magnum, Mystic, and Doma.
And they've actually got a really good opportunity. A little gap in the wall. Duck are going to find Doma, Glove, the Magnum. Quickly shut that out. A really well considered pistol round from Oxygen there. And again, it's the variation to the utility. Kind of a safety net. Drifting away from those default plants, and this really is the big test for me, is how well Oxygen can kind of put together these attacks, and whether or not they lean very heavily on this utility in the post plant. Because, I mean, Toronto's on one of those pop-off games, right? And they've teams from this region talking about how they like to be unorthodox and just, you know, go with the flow, which is the most terrifying thing to an EU team.
Oh, 100%. I mean, imagine if we threw Mitch into that conversation. Let's say he had more of a map 1 performance here. That duo would be terrifying. It's not quite happened, but let's see what Toronto does this time around. First contact made, and yeah, sadly for Mitch, loses out, but there's a trade for Toronto. Magnum gets him, so they know there's more, of course, as Jet's gonna try and get away. Information received, but they look unfazed by this.
Back up a little bit. Respect the damage trade-off in the early round, at least. Mystic's got himself into a dirty spot. Whether or not Zistu's disciplined enough to hard clear everything here.
Oh.
I mean, he was,
Oh, no.
but he still loses out on it.
Oh no. This could buy him a little bit of time. Not enough, really. Okay, so there's 2 on the flank, 1 coming through more by default. Dom is there. Toronto's found Boaster. Good work from Toronto again, keeping minimal threats. Doma's just going to try and deny plant by a bit of time. Turco's on the case. And now Durka in the 1v2. Toronto's up, Turco's there. Spike now down. Durka looking for a way in. Already, though, tagged up, put down. No danger in the end. Oxygen, keep this one safe. It got a little dicey.
Good damage.
They hit their rotation. Exactly. If you want to look at benefits here, yes, there was good damage done towards them. So, you know, as I said, FNATIC can't be too mad, but Oxygen happy with the round win. We're tied all even now. We're right back on the board.
Mystic, unfortunately, I mean, if he has a snake bite here, he has a really good opportunity, even with a classic, to maybe get another kill. He's done the work. Like I said, really the big objective there is to stop Oxygen building any momentum with this economy. And Bulldog, Spectre, Marshall, Sheriff coming into this one's going to be a difficult one, really, versus the full buy of FNATIC. Durka, though, from the top rope, going to find Toronto right off the bat.
These angles are so filthy as well. He's able to back away, takes no damage for it either. High risk play coming out, considering he's on the 4x, and they're up against, you know, kind of bits and pieces here. It's that could have been a rifle recovered, but I mean, I guess you can bank on Durka, right? Now, looking at this, he's already going to be postured up for this, not, you know, worried about backing away. He's got some support as well on the cross. He's got Doma by his side, a little deeper position on the site. And now we wait for the hit to come through.
And hop up and find that angle. Mita's considering the possibility of a flank coming through, but look at Magnum's position. He's got all this information. Doesn't even need to peek out. He's going to catch this so early on. There you go. Does he actually opt to go for a kill? No, he doesn't. He's going to reset here.
Enemy down.
Poster towards Mitters, 35 seconds. Very limited site progress made, and of course you can see the problem now becomes that FNATIC have taken over that space, and that's a shutdown. Brilliant round. Very, very clean. Exactly what FNATIC would have wanted.
Bomb grenade out.
But there's a couple of investments on the side of Oxygen, but you know, obviously the rifle is going to come back out for them now. Now, this is the round you look towards whether or not Toronto does go back to the operator, right? And again, talked about it on Haven, much harder to find that value. Again, once you take Jet away from kind of that front line for any team, it's a huge investment to not find kind of a first blood or an opening. And actually going to be him purchasing the operator here. So he's got to be the one to put something up.
And again, look at the difference. Durka, happy to be on the rifle, taking over B long control. This is something that statistically those heat maps had showed in that article, that he's more, I guess, varied in this regard, whereas Toronto is a bit more of an A specialist. You'll see him on both sides, heavier leaning this way. And Toronto trying to take as much space, kind of clear some of these angles. Turco somewhat similar as well. And Magnum waits on the other side, has to deal with the utility thrown out. But there's a good little fadeaway. Lovely shot there. Mitters loses his life. And now, Rez comes in, actually wanting him back up. Zistau going to find Boaster. But that's not the man they first tussle with. Mystic is still here. He is still around. He's hovering on this Magnum too. It's that next step that's going to be tricky for Oxygen.
Magnum again. Toronto will fall. Another kill. The wall going to go up actually pretty deep here. And Oxygen scrambling to find Eddie Storm control it. Mystic lines him up. A quick 4-piece for him, and Like I said, Oxygen's just kind of bouncing back and forth on the site. A bit of hesitation, to be honest.
Well, I thought that was going to go completely the other way around, that because of that wall, you're going to see FNATIC a little bit more funneled towards one side, go for the peaks, maybe get punished, but no. Perfect read coming out from Mystic. That's lovely work from him. Wow, 9-7 now. Oxygen, I'm hoping they don't kind of trip themselves because this is probably double digits here. Like, look at this. We've got the op now for Durka, right? That comes across. Let's see how this looks. Oh, this absolute big boy face. They're looking to find Durka potentially. If he was going to have that op there, but the switch up, he's going to be towards A this time. Ultimate invested, no messing around. Why not try and keep this safe if you're feeling pressure?
Oh, yeah, it's so difficult for Oxygen to put together an attack, a comfortable attack at least here. Still seem happy to try and explore. Is this though actually going to drop on top of the wall? Desperately hunting for either Doma or Mystic inside.
This is dicey because they're trying to play back towards middle, Hypok. They're like leaning back in, right? They took that B-long fight initially, stopped by the ultimate. Now they lean away from it, but now they've lost a bit of control elsewhere. Magnum on the punish to find mitch as soon as they look towards A. And now you can see Durka kind of funneled around. He can't find any success on this right now. He's 5 HP. He's got to be careful. And look at Oxygen. There's no opportunities presenting here. And look at the damage coming through. Toronto just taking chunks just to try and find a chance at it.
Is it Mystic? Mystic!
30 seconds
You're nasty, Mystic. You're absolutely nasty.
The readjust was perfect onto the top of the crate there. Glove now, 43 HP. Gonna try and find some more damage, but
Oh,
with Mystic on the prowl.
Look at him. He's like Jaws, just lurking around in the depths. It's just unreal work. 10 seconds remaining. Turco, yes, he's got himself a rifle now, but it's a 1v4. He's going to make another go of this. Boaster goes down. He's making it costly, but no way does it happen with Mystic there. He is having a game. We've already seen it. We've seen so many different members now from FNATIC having moments. This is a team that's scary, right? Like, keep in mind, Magnum had some brilliance in the last few, and he's not even breaking really towards double digits. It's just here and there, but this was lovely from Turco, but all credit in my mind goes towards Mystic. That ultimate invested just hindered them completely, and it was the perfect use.
Really was, and I mean, look at the finances for FNATIC now. Again, we talk about getting to double digits. This is where it just becomes so difficult for Oxygen because there's nothing left in the bank. They have to win these rounds clean, and with Durka getting the operator rolling now,
he's feeling himself,
it's going to become so difficult.
That's and this is something we don't often talk about, but when players are feeling confident, they take fights like this, and again, he doubles down. Make it 3. Go on, there it is. Durka is just putting on a show, man. This is the player we wanted to see, and we get it all. Durka just doing them every single time. There's nothing that they win against him. He's got his ultimate. He don't need it. He's just absolutely feeling himself. He's got those hot hands, right? And I don't mean as in, you know, the other agent. I mean that when everything lines up, right? This is it. It's such a weird thing to try and explain. And it feels like such a light theory, but even then, he didn't get baited on the shoulder peek. He waited for the second dip on it. He's just reading the game perfectly. He's in that, you know, Neo in the Matrix, right? It's just all looking so clear to him now. 11-7, Oxygen need to dig deep, but the economy's been ripped away. Hypok, I don't know where they go here.
This is really, really difficult. They've got a couple of ultimates to play with, so, you know, with this lesser weaponry, potentially could get something going. But, I mean, the Empress virtually useless in this scenario without a weapon to back it up. Viper's Pit and the Hunter's Fury, yes, potentially if they can find an opening pick with that, get the Viper's Pit down in a post plant, but this is tough. They've got to stop this momentum for FNATIC, and FNATIC basically have 3 rounds in hand in terms of the money they have.
Good luck, boys. Look at that utility just littered across the floor. You're gonna have Viper, you got Killjoy. It's just chunky. X marks the spot towards A. Mystic waiting on the other side. Gonna just start pumping DPS, spray through, gonna do little bits of damage here and there. But for now, you can see mitch just suffering through this. They're gonna be just the walking wounded by the time they get towards the site. Magnum's still on patrol, finds mitch, and now the next 3 try and make their go of it, and it goes about as well as expected. Magnum just gets it out. Toronto now 1v3. Was a 4. 30 HP. And a dream at this point.
Of course, Toronto actually bakes out first with a shoulder peek. Try and close this kill out. And again, anything he gets done is a bonus here, but this is FNATIC going the match point. 30 HP. I mean, don't expect FNATIC to give away sloppy 1v1s in this scenario. They are playing so disciplined today.
Yep. This is lights out. Toronto. You gotta try it, right?
Yeah, fair play.
Fair play to the lad. This is a better looking FNATIC than I've seen in a while. I think we've now seen
one of the
once
best.
Again.
I would go as far as saying one of the best.
Yes. This is a great look from FNATIC coming in here, certainly sending a message. They are now, I'd say, the full package, right? As said, they've kind of become the theory-crafted team we were waiting to see that goes beyond just needing those quirky plays. They now have these incredible players that can make up the difference. But we have a full buy for Oxygen in the final shot of things here for them, at least within this series, and they've got to get it done. For now, though, we see Durka there, we see Toronto, we see the classic fight now to begin. Durka, not afraid, still gonna go further forward, tries to get cheeky with it, doesn't get it though, has to back away, fall towards the site. But this is still a default, this isn't all in from Oxygen. There's 3 players towards A and 2 lingering around the back lines towards B.
Mystic didn't actually catch her with that jump spot, so he is going to back away. Hunter's Fury invested from Boaster. Does get 1 tag. He can't close out the kill, though Turco will survive and be able to heal himself up as well. Mitch actually a swing onto Durka. Man advantage early on goes to Oxygen. Now, FNATIC can stabilize here. Doma will find one. He has the res available as well, but it's a tricky position for him to get that.
But look at this. Now they're going to notice something's wrong here. They've got to know that there's a problem, and Mystic's going to be... Yeah, now he's fully aware that something's coming his way. Now, what does he do with this? Does he just buy time? Exactly, it's going to be... Time gets bought instantly. 35 seconds on the board, that's all that's left. This is a late rotation from them. Rez now comes out safely. Dirk is back up. A little bit of a tag, and Mystic's just being annoying. They can chill on this, but that's the Rez invested. So this should be a safe plant here. Looking at this one, I don't see anything that could deny it. No. So for now, Oxygen do have a spike plant in a 4v5.
But Lockdown invested, and it's going to force them pretty much out of the Vipers bit. Toronto going to find Magnum in mid. Lockdown does get destroyed. Durka on the rampage. So he's going to find a second kill.
He's not stopping. That's 2. Toronto needs to come alive for his side right now, and this is just a shutdown. It's a show from Durka, and FNATIC have made all the right moves. This has been an absolute display of dominance from FNATIC.
Yeah, and I got to say, I mean, a 13-7 scoreline, that doesn't actually reflect